how do you pay your employees so much? Okay, so look, bro. I pay my employees in between 20 to 25. Sometimes they go over. But it's not based off of hourly rate. I don't pay per hour. I pay a salary, right? And if they work more efficient in that time period, they get paid more per hour. Paying an hourly rate in the lawn care industry is pretty hard, in my opinion. I think it doesn't make sense, and you shouldn't do it. But if you want to be able to pay your guys more, you need to make sure everything you have is set up to be efficient. Because I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, charge more." It's always the guys who say charge more too. It's like saying, "Oh, you should be charging double that price," and then they also have problems finding employees, which doesn't add up, right? It doesn't track. If you were charging that much and you had that much money, you would be able to pay employees. You wouldn't have a problem. But it's because they're not running an efficient business or they're just solo. So if you're running an efficient business, and say for example you're running a 4-day work week, two guys, $13,500 a month, you have $2,500 worth of expenses, you have $3,000 a month basically between both employees, and you're profiting $5,000 a month. What the fuck? Both of them are making money. They're making a little bit over $700 a week. You're making $5,000 like this, and the route costs $2,500 a month. And I know those expenses seem high. It's because maybe if you had a truck payment or something, I'm just I'm overestimating it. But it's really about just being efficient. Because these guys would be making $3,000 a month working 4-day work weeks. And I'll be honest, this was the exact business model that I was running. So, literally, I did it. So it's possible. You can't say it's not possible if I've literally done it. I've been in that exact scenario. Obviously, I do more now, but I've been in that scenario. Technically it's possible because I'm doing more, right? So, literally, it's about running an efficient business. You need to make sure you have route density. You need to make sure your employees know what they're doing, and you have an efficient setup. A lot of people have a bullshit setup with a trailer, and they're using the mower at the front, and they have to move like 2 mowers out of the way and the push mower just to start mowing the yard. Bro, just use one mower. I don't understand. If only one person's mowing, you should be using one mower. Maybe if you're doing the bigger properties up north, you need 2 because the one for the backyard may not be able to get back there, and the backyard's pretty big. It's big enough to the point where you can't weed whack it or push mow it. So I understand that, having 2. But anything other than 2 and having 2 in any other place than in an area that is like that with a lot of land is inefficient. Like in Florida, I see people with 2-3 mowers on the truck. That's stupid. I'm using one mower and making more money than them. So how is this, adding up, right? So clearly I'm doing something different than you that's working, right? So if I'm only using one mower and I'm making more money than your 3 mowers, and I'm being more efficient, and I get more yards done, and my guys get paid more, do you have room to talk, to tell me or tell anyone that, oh, they need more mowers, or oh, they need to have their setup like this? Clearly it's not fucking working, right? I can run a profitable business with one mower because it's super efficient. I can run a profitable business with 2 guys 4-day work weeks because I have route density, right? It's just about being efficient and having route density. As long as you have those 2 things, it's not much else to do. If your guys know what they're doing, you have route density, and you have an efficient setup, that's pretty much what you need to basically run an efficient, profitable business that's doing a lot. That's one route. If you had 3 routes, you're making $15,000 a month, which is crazy when you see a lot of companies that are doing and this is the thing, look, I know there's people who would say, oh, $5,000 for one route is not a lot. I see people with $1 million businesses doing 20%. I would have, if $1 million business, that would be 5 of these routes. You're doing 300,000. You're doing 30%, right? So you're doing better. This is a more efficient setup. This is a 30 to 40% setup because the expenses aren't going to be the same. As economies of scale, they're technically going to go down. You're going to make anywhere between 30 to 40% profit instead of the 20% bullshit, and your guys get paid more. So this is how I pay my guys more. First of all, pay them salary. hourly's bullshit. And make your routes efficient. If your routes are efficient and your setups are efficient, you can pay them X amount per week and run an efficient business. And it makes your books easier. Like, just pay like that. It makes it easier. You make more money. All right, next question.